goodness, thank you all for coming. Now, don't you think this is a joyous evening? Wow.
Yeah.
Come around, gather. We want to celebrate. We have lots to celebrate tonight. Where's Tom? He doesn't have to come up yet, but where's Tom? We're honoring Tom Argel, and I hope you've all had a chance to meet him. But thank you very, very much for coming tonight and being here at Eschaton Foundation's first annual celebration of CEOs. Yay! My name is Kim Reinhelder, and I'm the president of Eschaton Foundation, and I always tell people that I have the best job. Tonight, we are celebrating you, the region's company leaders. We have over 200 CEOs and executive level individuals here tonight, representing 100 companies. Isn't that wonderful? Eschaton Foundation's leadership and staff are bringing you this unique opportunity for high-level networking. It's a chance for you to build relationships with like-minded people, people who believe in the importance of the vibrancy of this region. It is our hope that you meet our generous philanthropic corporate partners. They're all wearing yellow ribbons, and I hope they're wearing them proudly. And of course, our powerhouse board. I get to say that. We have a powerhouse board, and I will introduce them later, but they're all wearing red ribbons and wearing them proudly. And equally as important, we want you to learn about why seniors matter. The display tables, I hope you've had a chance to visit, represent the various programs and services Eschaton Foundation funds through the generosity of our philanthropic partners. Over 75% of the money that we raise goes to enhance the quality of lives of extremely low-income seniors who live in their own homes. Now, this is going to be interesting to you. Since 5:30 today, how many got here at 5:30? Since 5:30 this evening. Okay, Dave, thank you. Yay, 5:30. Since 5:30 this evening, 563 people turned 65 in the United States. That's one every 8 seconds. And that will continue every 8 seconds for the next 14 years. It's unprecedented. It's unprecedented. When you couple the sheer number of people turning 65 with living longer, we have an extraordinary aging population and more and more frail adults. So think about your own family for a moment. Many of you, as I scan the lawn, I think are probably 40 and older, many of you. Yeah. Age is good. Age is good. Tell you. How many of you are at the concern stage regarding your own parents or perhaps your in-laws? I see a lot of, hands raised, head shaking. What help is out there, you might ask? Well, navigating through the maze of senior care can be really overwhelming. Eschaton, they have an Eschaton information and resource hotline is free. Now, I hope all of you visited Mallory. Raise your hand. It's a hotline that is available to anybody that has questions about anything relating to seniors. And I hope that you pick up one of the cards with our hotline number and put it in your wallet or give it to a friend or neighbor that might need support. So it's Eschaton's information and resource specialist, or I call it the hotline. So please feel free to talk to Mallory after. Now I'm going to ask you to imagine something else. Take a moment. Imagine that you're 91 years old and you're no longer able to drive. Well, we drive, we take it for granted, right? Perhaps you have macular degeneration, or you might have even been diagnosed with Parkinson's. You have doctor's appointments and you need a few things at the grocery store. Unfortunately, you can't just call a cab because you can't afford the cost. You can't manage Sacramento's public transportation simply because of the heat. And you don't want to rely on your neighbor yet again. Oh, and by the way, your only son is 72 years old. That's true, and he is experiencing his own health issues. Isn't that weird? That is so weird. It's unprecedented. Our kids are 72, 80. It's amazing. This is all too common for low-income seniors living in our community. In fact, Eschaton Foundation provided 2,208 companionship rides to important doctor's appointments last year, thanks to the generosity of our donors. One of our Eschaton Foundation's priorities is what I call Move the Dial. We're trying to make it popular to give to senior causes. We challenge and encourage companies to add seniors to their corporate giving guidelines. One way we do that is through our philanthropic partner program. Don't forget those yellow ribbons. Our team works together with company representatives to build a meaningful relationship, whether it's providing networking events like this, engaging their employees or your employees for volunteer days, employee volunteer days, or helping businesses understand how philanthropy and giving back can ultimately impact your bottom line. Now, I would be remiss, I'm a good president of Eschaton Foundation. I would be remiss, where's Todd Murch? Please say hi. Todd Murch is the president and CEO of Eschaton. And we are so lucky to have him as our CEO. He's very supportive of these events and he loves meeting the community. So I hope you've had a chance to meet Todd. I also have the pleasure of working with a board of directors who have so much passion and belief in our mission, and I'm going to name them real quick, and if they can raise their hand. Tom Argel, you'll be meeting Tom. He's the CEO of Alpha One. Wendy Beecham, managing principal of Korn Ferry. Raise your hand, yay. Robin Bevier, owner and founder of the law offices of Robin C. Bevier. Cindy Bustamante, director of marketing for LPAS Business Development. Ed Cotney, where's Ed? I know he's here. Yay, there you are, Ed. Olympus Tax Business and Insurance Service Solutions. Dave Dest, Vice President of VSP. Jeff Grawling, COO of Health and Wellness, now Health and HealthNet. Kevin Ham, CEO of Cura MD. Al Kahane, yay, retired physician at Kaiser. Pramila Kriplani, Principal Global Investments. Todd Murch, the CEO of Eschaton. Tim Ray, Vice President External Affairs for AT&T. Amelia Stevenson, CEO of Eventex, and she's a Vistas chair. Where's Amelia? Yay. Don't we have a great board? Yes. So as I close, I'd like you to remember, this is so easy. The aging aren't the old. The aging are all of us. So we're going to continue to celebrate, and it's my pleasure to introduce Rick Bixler, who will introduce our keynote speaker. Please help me welcome Rick.
Hey, Ricky! Woo!
Well, I'm glad she did that in the manner that she did because I'm only 60, Jerry, and you could be a poster boy for this thing, I'll tell you. That's Kim's fault. She said that you said it's okay to have lib. I don't know if, I'm sure everybody knows Jerry Reynolds. He's been here for 32 years. He's the starting 32, just starting 32. He doesn't want to up anything at his age, trust me. He came to Sacramento. He's the longest employee of the Sacramento Kings. He came here from Kansas City in the 85-86 season. He is better known as the second most famous person from French Lick, Indiana. By the laughter, I guess most of you are basketball fans. For those of you who aren't, Larry Bird is number one. Then there's a big gap. And then there's Jerry, number two. Larry is known as Larry Legend. He's got multiple championships. He is in the Hall of Fame. And we just call Jerry. Jerry Legend, as Sacramento is known. And as far as I'm concerned, one of the greatest guys around. So please help me welcome my buddy, Jerry Reynolds.
Thanks a lot, Rick. I made the mistake of going to his 60th birthday party, and there was actually 300 people there. I couldn't believe he had 300 friends, and I found out a lot of them, he owed money to, and so they were trying to catch up to him. But as far as got to set some things straight here, as Larry Bird would say, actually Eddie Bird would be second and I'd be third. But as far as the Hall of Fame, I was just talking to Kelly Brothers a while ago. Just recently, in the last year or so, Larry and I were both the first inductees in the Springs Valley High School Hall of Fame in French Lick, Indiana. Now, some of you are chuckling, and you better stop. Pretty important stuff. And as I explained to Larry, I said, here on the wall, I said, there's an 8x10 plaque of me and you, and an 8x10 photo of both of us. So I said, it looks like to me we're pretty even. And he said, wait, Jerry, you dumb little shit. He said, don't you realize you drove down Larry Bird Boulevard to get there? So that's a way of kind of keeping things in perspective, as it were. But, having, just a couple things. Obviously, it's just such an honor to be here, to be honest with you. And, I live in Roseville, and so it's always great to drive into urban cities, into the ghetto. To see how tough it is in here, and I think I can adjust to this pretty well. This is good living. Yeah, I was going to say, up till just recently, that would have been a better house than we ever had. But anyway, just to be associated with this, Eschaton obviously is, as Kim pointed out, a lot of things I think so interesting. In the 8 seconds, so many people are turning 65. Actually, would it be possible for I could turn back in 8 seconds? I passed that a long time ago. Yeah, I'm like several of you, and she was very nice talking about how many over 40. A lot of you are really old. You ought to be damn scared and be very prepared. And I'm 72, and I'm pretty proud of that. I haven't aged at all, as you noticed. I'm actually a vampire, thank you very much. Or whatever it takes. But just the fact that really, 90% of all seniors, and certainly I would be one of those, that certainly wants to live in my own home as long as I can. And certainly my wife would like to leave me there as much as she could too. That's another issue entirely. We've been married 48 years, and I won't say it's worked out great, but it's worked out. I will tell some of you older gentlemen that are married, a thing I learned, and I've told Rick this in life and in marriage. It took me a long time. I created a lot of problems, but But I learned that my wife, when she'll come to me with honeydews, can you do this? I used to argue about it. Now, I agree with everything. She'll say, well, you do? Sure, here, I'll do it. I'll get to it. I don't do it. I have no intentions of doing it. But she'll kind of forget anyway. So it kind of, as you age, it works. It kind of works. So it saves you a lot of arguments. Just agree. But and then the idea of what Eschaton does, and especially with the low-income seniors to help with assisted living, in-home help. I mean, really, we've all had people that need this type of assistance. I know, my mother went through this. I was very, very proud. One of the best things probably in my life that I could afford to assist. Really. I mean, it's like good grief. Looking back, I'm really, really pleased that I could. And really, my siblings really couldn't help, but I could. So it's one of those things that I think that at some point, you do have an obligation to help family. You do have an obligation to help your community. And really, the reality, I think, is pretty simple. That in some way and somehow, as people, you should be trying to find a way to improve yourself. Just get better. Now in my case, it was fairly easy because I was kind of the lowlife for a lot of years. And some of you probably could identify with that too. But you may not admit it, but it's easier to improve if you start off with a low bar, and so, but you do, let's face it, whatever time we have, we've got to make it valuable. And certainly, I think I can certainly give you the credit that you have, that you're here, and you want to be a part of this great community and make it better, and to help as many people as you can and those that need it. And let's face it, we'll all be better for that. And I'd be remiss with not congratulating Tom. I had a chance to visit with him. Just obviously a very nice man. He said he didn't like a lot of you, but overall I found it very nice. So anyway, I don't want to hold you up. I know you've got a lot of things to celebrate this evening, and certainly I'm not going to talk about the Sacramento Kings up here because I don't want to. But certainly if you have questions or something in private, as you know, I have been known to give an opinion, and I still do really enjoy the role that I have, just doing TV with the Kings and Grant Napier. I really have a good time, even the team's not very good sometimes, but I find a way to have happiness and enjoy it. I think that's what we always say, the life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And there's a key word there, pursuit of happiness. It ain't gonna come to you. You gotta chase it. And it'll go away too. For those of you married, it'll go away. You just pursue it again. Okay? So anyway, that's about it. I can't improve your lives for you. If you're not on the right track now, it's hopeless. So thank you very much.
Well, good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining us here tonight on this beautiful night to celebrate Eschaton Foundation and our CEOs. I think, as Kim mentioned, that the goal here is to be able to provide for those seniors who do not have the means or even the infrastructure and the support system to do simple things like even go to a grocery store, their doctor's appointment, and in some cases just getting a call every now and again from somebody who cares. So that's kind of what Eschaton Foundation is all about, and we really appreciate everybody coming out. My pleasure here is to talk about our CEO of the Year. And the celebration of CEOs was created as a way to provide a networking opportunity for our 53 partners and really celebrate these different businesses that do so much in our local region to support very worthwhile causes. But we also wanted to recognize a very special philanthropic partner from the Eschaton Foundation because they share our beliefs and was an early member of the Eschaton Foundation when we were first starting our philanthropic business partnership. So we thought about that it was time to formally recognize somebody who met our criteria. Now, this is a very cute criteria. Thank you, Tim and Kim and company. First, they need to be community-minded. That's the C. They need to be engaged. That's the E. And they need to be one of a kind. That's the O. You get it, CEO. So this is a CEO celebration. And it's my pleasure to recognize Tom Argel as our first honoree. And Tom is the founder and CEO of Alpha One Ambulance Medical Services. As Kim tells it, she's our president. She was sitting around the dining room table right here at Ann Barron's home, talking about the celebration of CEOs and which one of the partners would we want to recognize. And when it became clear that, well, we have the person who first stepped up when Eschaton Foundation created the philanthropic partner program. Very first one, it was a new program, untried. We thought it was pretty innovative and a pretty great program. But it was Tom Argel and Alpha One that was the first to step forward and become our very first partner. Now, Tom was destined to create Alpha One. His first passion for emergency medical services was developed at a very young age of 14 when he joined the volunteer fireman program at Slough House, California. And he used his auto mechanic skills that he learned in high school auto shop to develop First Responder Ambulance Company, and then built a shop to maintain ambulances on his own. I guess you sold that and then created, or do you still run that?
I sold First Responder. I have a repair shop.
Great. And then in 2011, you started Alpha One Ambulance Services. But it's more than just an ambulance service. It's built a reputation for both professionalism and unparalleled compassion, especially serving the senior citizen community. And a letter from one of those senior citizens tells a personal story of where Alpha One went the extra mile, and I want to read this to you. Dear Tom, my husband has been sick for 7 years and is now on hospice, and his one wish was to be home for Christmas. Now, there's no way we could have got him home because of all the stairs he would have to go through and without your help, which you so graciously provided. We will forever be grateful for your generosity in making his homecoming and then returning back to the elder care center possible, especially on a busy Christmas holiday. May God bless you and richly give back the love you and care you give to others. With so much thanks and appreciation, may more important family. So that's Tom. Always reaching out and doing something extra. But we also wanted to know a little bit more about Tom, and so who better to ask than his wife, Cricket Argel. Did you know we talked to her? So the very first thing she told us is, oh, Tom does not like being the center of attention. So this is a very uncomfortable evening for Tom, but I think he's handling it okay. Right? And she also wrote us a note explaining that he's innovative and creative and always looking for ways to help out in his community. But his very first passion remains his love and dedication to his family. Even as busy of a professional as he is, he rarely misses the opportunity to be present and to support each of our kids and our many, in capital on the many, big capital, M-A-N-Y, siblings, nieces, nephews, great nieces, great nephews, even neighbors, for special occasions and milestones. He likes to play golf and fly his remote-controlled helicopters, which his enthusiasm during flying those helicopters will remind you of the 7-year-old boy at heart that he really is. That's a nice tribute from your wife. But, oh yeah, she also told us one other thing. Now, this is Tom. This is Tom, right? She said there's been countless times when people come up and ask Tom, hey, aren't you that world's most interesting man? From the Dos Equis commercials. Well, Tom truly is the world's most interesting man, but more importantly, he is community-minded, he's engaged, and most definitely, he's one of a kind. So on behalf of Eschaton Foundation and everybody here tonight, I'm honored to introduce our inaugural CEO of the year, Tom Argent. Tom has a 45-minute speech.
Well, everybody might want to take a seat. This is going to take a while. No, seriously. Thank you so much for coming out today. And I see a lot of familiar faces here. Being an experienced individual in this community, I've watched this community just evolve and grow. I've been in EMS since 1976, really. And the community has just done tremendous things for our seniors. And I have to say that my family, as Dave was talking about earlier, is very special to me because this industry is very tough. It's very stressful and long hours. We run 24/7, so it takes a lot of energy from the family to be supportive of that. So I want to personally thank my wife, Cricket, for being supportive. Thank you. And my wonderful children for being there for me as well. And have a grandbaby on the way, so that's even better. So that's great. So anyway, the fact that I am part of the Eschaton Foundation philanthropic partnership was really simple. I have been dealing with Eschaton as a paramedic myself in the early years and never really understood the amount of services and the bandwidth that Eschaton had. And I knew they were growing and evolving, but never realized how much they gave back to the community. And as a business owner, it's very important to be a community partner. And so when I met with Kim, it was an opportunity to really help because our company, Alpha One Ambulance, we are focused on emergency services for the seniors. So we respond to medical emergencies in the senior communities as our primary organization. And with the evolution of the memory impairment concerns, watching this being a real big concern in our community, our paramedics have had this extra training on how to deal with memory impairment. So a story I'd like to tell you just a little bit here is that, paramedics are really about high energy, type A personalities, dealing with trauma and excitement. And when it comes to seniors, it completely changes the approach. You have to be more tender, loving, more understanding of the feelings and emotions and compassion. So as I developed the company, I thought it would be really hard to find paramedics that at an average age of 27 years old that would want to deal with seniors in their medical emergencies. But I'm happy to say that the group of paramedics that I have at Alpha One have embraced the medical care with our community. So with memory impairment, this is becoming a huge, huge issue in our community and everywhere in the States. And we had an experience with a gentleman who had a behavioral problem because he had a urinary tract infection. And we had this special training. We were the first company in the nation to provide memory impairment training for our paramedics. And trying to articulate this to the younger paramedics, they didn't think it was going to work because we have to redirect, and essentially in medicine you orient the patient, and in this case we don't. We kind of lie to the patient. So we had a patient who had a behavioral emergency, reaching out, lashing out, and very difficult to deal with. Our paramedics arrived on scene with their new training, and when we got on scene, the patient wanted to go to this hospital in New York by a military ambulance. And normally, you would say, sir, I'm sorry, but we're in Sacramento, and we are not the military, we're Alpha One. And through their training, they were able to redirect this patient and fell into that role playing with the patient and said, yes, I am Sergeant Satch, I'm Private Boyum, and yes, we will take you to that hospital that you requested in New York. And so they called ahead to Kaiser Permanente and said that, you know, by the way, we have a memory impaired patient who wants to go to this hospital in New York. Would you mind role playing as the nurse? And they did. And that experience changed everything on how we developed and continue to develop our training for our paramedics in Sacramento at Alpha One. So I'm very happy with that part of how we experienced that. So when Eschaton approached me and said, you know, would you be interested in being part of our Eschaton Foundation, it didn't take long for me to really grasp onto that to give back to the community. And Kim and her team have been just so wonderful. I've met wonderful people on the board, in the community. Todd's done a great job in leading that organization to where it is today. And the innovation is continuing to just evolve. And I'm shocked every year to hear about new things that are happening with the Eschaton organization. So for all of you CEOs and others that are here today as leaders in our community, I encourage you, please, to take a look at what we do at the foundation, because we have different levels of partnerships through our philanthropic approach. We have the visionary partner, we have the, it'll come to me, there, I got it right here. Well, I'm a visionary partner, so I got that one down. But let's see, give me 2 seconds here. Because this is going to be important, because what I want you to do is to be a premier partner. That's what it is. Okay, so I'm a visionary. The next one is a champion, and then we have the premier. So with those partnerships, you're able to meet nice people like myself. And we have a good time. And we all, as partners, philanthropic and board members, we're able to put together programs every year that give back to the community. Essentially raise money to help give back to the seniors that are in need. And as you know, Eschaton takes care of a lot of folks that are financially disadvantaged. And Eschaton does not look at their economic resources as a participant. It doesn't matter. Seniors matter. And so that's what Eschaton is about. So please see any one of the folks out there with the yellow or red badges, if you would be so kind as to give back into the community and be part of the Eschaton Foundation. I'm very proud of it, and would love to see many more of you participate in the Eschaton group.
Congratulations, Tom. Well deserved. Very nice. And all of those things you said about joining and participating, well, I'm done with my speech. I want to also say that what you had said about in the future, 8 minutes, people turning 65, I have worked all of my life to be ahead of the curve, and I'm so glad that I am 65. I also want to say that my wife and I took off and went to Europe for a long hike. And we were supposed to be gone for about 4.5 weeks. But as we know, when you plan things like that, life may get in the way. 4.5 weeks. And it did. So we had to cut it short. It was the passing of her 94-year-old mother. An absolute gem of a woman. I was privileged to have her as my mother-in-law. I love her dearly, still. And yet I want to mention, Jerry, that Nancy and I and her brother and his wife were in the very fortunate position, very privileged position of being able to take care of her over the last decade and a half. But I think we can all admit that not all of our wonderful seniors are in such an advantageous position. My name's Steve Bender. I am the president and CEO of the Warren G. Bender Company. And Kim, I've learned from you over the years about the artful way that you use flashcards. So I'm doing the same right here. We're a commercial insurance brokerage. We were established in 1938. We are locally owned. We're a family business. I'm very proud of my firm. I'm very proud of my 50-plus employees and what we do on a daily basis, not only to serve our clients, but to serve our communities. As CEOs, all of us, we can agree that while we have a rigorous interview process in our continuing efforts to recruit talent, we're not exactly sure where our employees come from. I mean, we really don't know that, do we? I mean, culturally, familially, and what role giving has played in their upbringing. If we're going to be successful in having them be excited and become engaged with our workplace cultures, cultures that we have proudly developed, we know it takes time to orient them to the things that we believe in. So we better start now and take advantage of giving opportunities. Tom, that's the beginning of the soft close. I just want you to know that. One of those things that makes WGB Co. special, and maybe a special place to work, is our passion to reinvest our profits into the nonprofits of our communities, of our region. Nonprofits that have played an integral role in creating and maintaining and improving the mosaic that is the quality of life that we proudly say is part of Greater Sacramento. The reason why we live here and are proud to do that. When we at Bender have our monthly staff meetings, we share with our coworkers our areas of involvement and the levels of giving that we participate in. It is one thing for them to hear it. It is still another thing for them to experience it, to have an active role in the process, to help choose whom our beneficiaries may be. Warren G. Bender Co. is a proud, you can see the yellow? Nope, please. Philanthropic partner of the Eschaton Foundation. It's not our only beneficiary in the community, but I will tell you it is probably one of the most important charitable beneficiaries that we are proud to participate with. The Eschaton Foundation serves those that have helped us by the fact that they have built a foundation that has allowed us to grow, to prosper, and thrive in our futures. Whether it is the greatest generation, the surging members of boomers, of which I am proudly a part of, as they enter their golden years and have the privilege to enjoy the fruits of their labor, it makes us proud in knowing that we help them to do so. Eschaton is a diverse, if not eclectic, provider of services that benefit our growing senior population, whether it is, as an example, facilitating engagement with the younger generations, allowing our seniors to thrive and grow old in their own homes, giving them vital transportation, providing them with opportunities of socialization, or something as seemingly benign as providing them with therapeutic music that allows them to re-engage with the wonderful times of their past. Eschaton has been, is, and will be there to help this wonderful sector of our populace. Warren G. Bender Co., as stated earlier, has enjoyed our relationship with Eschaton as a philanthropic partner since 2012. And I'm pleased to announce our commitment for the 2016 and 17 year as well. We have not only contributed financially, but I'm pleased to say that we have allowed and encouraged our staff to play an interactive part in some of these areas as well, thereby allowing my team to understand that it is not just about business, but it's about a better quality of life here in Sacramento. a better quality of life for our seniors. That we can use our time, our talents, our treasures to help a most deserving sector of our society. So, here's my call to action, all of yous. My challenge, if you will. Join us and the many philanthropic partners, see the yellow, that are supporting Eschaton, like WGB Co. Make a difference, improve a life, enhance your culture at work, and at the same time, maybe your own brand in business. Again, join us, won't you? Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Couldn't have asked for a better advocate, that's for sure. Thank you very much. Jerry, once again, please help me welcome and thank Jerry Reynolds. Dave Dess, thank you very much. Dave, by the way, is our chair of the board, Eschaton Foundation Board. Dave Dess with Vision Service Plan. Thank you. And once again, congratulations. Please help me thank Tom Argel, the first CEO, inaugural CEO of the year. I'm going to get you out of here at 7:30. Okay, so as you know, you can't put on an event like this alone. We had a committee that worked together since February. We met actually every 2 weeks to bring you this special event, and I hope that you enjoyed yourself and you thought that it was worth your time. So I'd like to introduce our hostess, and she's shy too, but I would like her to at least wave. Ann Barron is our hostess. Barron Realtors, and then Keck Roy. Keck Roy is with Warren G. Bender and Stephen Staff. And Erica Pope, she's the Director of Corporate Giving at Foundation. A small but mighty team, let me tell you. So it is time to do a drawing. Hopefully you all had a chance to visit our booths. So I'm going to start with the ring. We got a beautiful diamond and ruby ring from Sharif Jewelers. Sharif, I love Sharif. And the winner of the ring is Mary Ann Ellis. Mary Ann?
Oh, Mary Ann!
Come up now, but we.
Oh no, she's. What do you mean I don't have to come up now?
I kind of like the ring myself. So then our next prize is, oh my gosh, it's a sail. It's a sailing adventure around the San Francisco Bay. And the winner of that sailing trip is Renee Bosley with Epic. And then we have a golf package. Now this would be perfect for someone that's maybe starting new, is new to golf. It's a golf bag with clubs, golf balls and tees and towels, everything that you can think of that you need for golf. And the winner of that prize is Christina McCauley. Christina? Nurses Savoy's Home Care. Okay, well, we'll make sure she gets it. So, one last thing, I want to once again thank you all so very much for attending our first annual celebration of CEOs. We want you back next year. We hope that you share tonight's experience in the community. We want to create a buzz around this unique opportunity to network. And I just can't thank you enough for being here. I like I said, I have the best job in the world. Thank you so much. Our next celebration of CEOs, mark your calendar, is June 8th, 2017. And maybe we'll have the same kind of weather, right? It was a beautiful evening. Thank you so much for coming.